Now, a lot of people are considering bankruptcy, but they have this idea of like which chapter they need to file and which one they want to file. It really is more than a need than a want. So, and bankruptcy is just this bad word that strikes fear into guts of many people. If you ask 10 different people about the pros and cons of bankruptcy, you're gonna get a bunch of different answers. I will say that if you ask 10 people that have gone through bankruptcy, their answers will be wildly different than if you ask 10 people who have not gone through bankruptcy. The concept of bankruptcy is super complicated, understanding the different chapters, the nuances of exemptions and everything else. But that's what we're here for. We're here to help.
I declare bankruptcy!
The reality is that most people are going to fall between two different categories, and that's 7 and 13. And we'll explain those to you. And we're just going to go in numerical order through the chapters, so we're going to talk about all of them, but we're going to give really good explanations of 7 and 13, really short explanations of the other ones, okay? Chapter 7. This is often referred to as liquidation bankruptcy. And that's because Chapter 7 requires a liquidation of your assets in order to pay off your debts, okay? Now, that strikes fear into people, but here's the thing. There are these things called exemptions. So not all your assets are going to get liquidated. And for 98% of people who file Chapter 7, none of their assets get liquidated because all their property falls into the exemptions. There are strict rules about the types of assets that can be liquidated and what can be kept. For most people, this means they have no issues keeping everything. But for other people, it could mean losing a lot, which is why you need to talk to a qualified bankruptcy attorney before making any of these decisions. And that's the one thing to remember is, once you start a Chapter 7, you're not in control. You've got to follow all the laws, and a Chapter 7 trustee is going to control the process. The trustee is there to make sure that everything's done above board and the laws are followed. And if there are assets, they're going to liquidate them to pay off creditors. But always remember, 99% of the time, nothing gets liquidated. And you're gonna know after talking to an attorney what your options are. Now I'm gonna hit these next three real quick because you probably not too worried about them. Chapter 9 aren't for individuals. They are for municipalities and governments. So don't have to worry about those. Chapter 11 is for businesses and corporations. They're for, or perhaps somebody that exceeds the limits of a Chapter 13, because there are limits on a 13. Chapter 12 is for fishermen and family farmers. So probably not an option. Now we're gonna roll ourselves back to Chapter 13. A Chapter 13 is considered a reorganization for a consumer, a normal person. So you get a list of all of your creditors, all of your property, all of your income, and we set it out there and we have what we call a plan. And the Chapter 13 plan is our plan for repaying everything that you need to through the process. Now, here's something interesting we talked about before, the liquidation in the 7 and the 13. Like, here's some differences. If you're behind on your car and you file a 7, your car disappears. If you're behind on your car and you file a 13, you can reorganize the car's debt, pay it, get caught up throughout the plan, and keep your car. Same goes for a house. If you're behind on your house and you file a 7, house is gone. Behind on your house and you file a 13, you can reorganize the mortgage, get caught up what you're behind, and keep the house. Now, the payment plan will require you to pay certain debts, and those are going to be, secured debts that you want to keep, or stuff like taxes or child support. And the plan is either 3 to 5 years, depending upon your income. Now, sometimes even if your income doesn't make you qualify for the 5-year plan, you may want the 5-year plan to keep your payment lower. Now, the monthly payment may not sound as nice as having your debts forgiven, but remember, the same debts are forgiven either way. So, and I'll kind of make this make sense. Say you are not behind on your house and you file a Chapter 7, well, your credit card goes away, but you still have to pay for your house because you're living there. Well, if you're filing 13 and you're behind on your house, you have to pay for the house because you want to keep it, but the credit card debt still goes away. So that monthly payment doesn't mean you're paying for everything. Just keep that in mind. But the biggest advantage is you are in more control. You can determine what property you want to keep. And if you want to keep something that is, say, exempt, you want to keep something that would have been sold in a Chapter 7, you can keep it, you just have to pay for it. And that's it. So Chapter 13 is much more controllable and you get to pick and choose exactly what you want to do. And now for Chapter 15, it's international bankruptcy. I promise, we don't care about it. It's not what we do, we help Arkansans. So if you have any question about bankruptcies in Arkansas, leave a comment below and always subscribe to our channel for more content.